Hello everyone, it's Refresh, and I'm here to take a look at Arcane Tinmen's medium, non-glare board game card sleeves. Medium size for Arcane Tinmen is 57 by 89 millimeters, and that is what is called Standard American. Of the two kinds of Standard American, this is the larger of the two. Mayday calls this American Chimera, as there are two sizes. And if you look here on the back of this box, it gives you a frame to measure your card to see if it will fit. I have a Arkham Horror card here, which is supposed to be the larger of the two Standard American cards, and as you can see, it fits perfectly. The box claims that these are for cards measuring up to 59 by 89 millimeters. This size is typical for large cards in most American board games like Munchkin, A Game of Thrones, Ticket to Ride variants, and many more. This card box safely stores 50 plus sleeved cards and doubles as a card holder during play. Just flip back the lid and lock it in place with a little diagram on how to do so. These contain 50 clear card sleeves in 80 micron polypropylene with a soft, non-reflective matte treatment with no acid and no PVC. Now, of the games listed here, Munchkin is the smaller card size, and so I believe that Arcane Tinmen here is making sleeves for the larger card size that should also fit the smaller card size, but this will obviously leave a little bit of space for Munchkin cards. On the side of the box, there's a space on which you can write. One box of sleeves will cost you $2.99 MSRP, and that will come with 50 sleeves, which is approximately 6 cents per sleeve. This is a little bit more expensive than the average sleeve of this size. Let's take a look at what we have inside. As you can see, the sleeves are smooth and matte on both sides. Let's count out the sleeves to make sure that there are 50 here. That is exactly 50 sleeves. Let's double check the thickness. 50 of these sleeves comes in at just barely over 8 millimeters. That is 160 microns per sleeve, or 80 microns per face, just as advertised, perhaps just barely slightly thicker. Now let's check the dimensions. These sleeves are 59 millimeters wide by 91 millimeters tall. Let's take a look at how a card fits inside. I have an Arkham Horror card right here. The fit is pretty good. There is very little extra space on the sides and only a little bit of extra space between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card. Some of you may prefer more, as it would protect more, but otherwise it seems like a pretty symmetrical fit from the top and the bottom, and so those of you who care about aesthetics will probably appreciate the sizing of these sleeves. Now, one thing that you will note is that as you put a card in the sleeve, the color will lose a little bit of its pop because of the matte finish, and some of you who care a lot about aesthetics may not appreciate that aspect of these matte sleeves, but you get matte sleeves because it reduces glare. Now, it doesn't perfectly eliminate it, but it's much more legible than it would be if it were a glossy sleeve. Now we are doing the sleeving test. I'm going to sleeve these 45 Arkham Horror cards into 45 of these sleeves, and we'll see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Okay, that took 2 minutes and 11 seconds, and that is a pretty good speed of 2.91 seconds per sleeve. I didn't really have that many problems sleeving these cards. The cards slipped in without much issue, and the only constraint was that the sleeves were a pretty good fit for the cards, and so you didn't have a lot of wiggle room, so it didn't speed up the process a whole lot. Now that the cards have been sleeved, let's go ahead and take a look at the uniformity of these sleeves out of the pack. The sleeves are pretty uniform in terms of their width. There are some sleeves that are just slightly variable compared to the others, but the differences are really minute. The sleeves are entirely uniform on the tops. So the sides have just some slight differences. You can feel them as you run your fingers across the edges of the cards, but the differences are incredibly minor, and they should not affect the sleeving process in terms of cards that will fail to fit into these sleeves. As you can see, all of them fit here. There don't appear to be any major production concerns. There aren't any dents or poorly wrought cards out of the pack. There's no warping either, so this looks like a pretty good pack. I like the quality of these sleeves overall. Now it's time for the shuffle test. I'm going to shuffle these sleeved cards 100 times and we'll see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Alright, that took 1 minute and 24 seconds, and that is the blazingly fast speed of 0.84 seconds per shuffle. This is probably one of the fastest shuffles that I've ever experienced, and part of that is just due to how smooth these cards fit right into each other. There's pretty much no resistance as you put the cards into each other, edge to edge, and so this shuffling feel is highly impressive, and I really like how these sleeves shuffle and how they feel in your hands as you shuffle them. Now that we've handled these sleeves quite a bit, let's take a look to see if there is any wear. These sleeves look great. They are pristine. There's no dents, there's no bent corners, there's no scuffing, scratching, or tearing along any of the sides, and so I think that these are incredibly high quality. They look like they have great durability, and I'm very impressed with how these sleeves held up after my shuffling and handling. Next up is a shake test. I've put these sleeved cards in a deck. I'm going to shake the table that they're on for a couple seconds to see how well they hold up. Ready, set, go. Okay, as you can see, the deck started sliding, and a part of the deck seems to have come off a bit from the lower part of the deck, but it did not collapse. So I'm pretty impressed with the quality of these sleeves in terms of their stability in a deck. Now I'm going to do the draw test. I'm going to draw 3 cards off the top of this deck, and we'll see how well the deck holds together. Ready, set, go. Great. As you can see, the cards started slipping a little as you picked cards off the top, but nothing that would destabilize the deck or cause it to fall down. Even with a little bit of a accordion effect with these sleeves, it doesn't seem to have much of a problem holding together as a deck. All in all, that makes me highly impressed with these sleeves. I think they are some of the best handling sleeves that I've ever had the pleasure to use, and the quality of the sleeves, even after such handling, is very impressive, as well as the build quality overall. The only real qualm I have with these sleeves is that they have just some slight inconsistency in the width that you can feel as you run your fingers along the sides, but this inconsistency doesn't seem to have any bearing in terms of whether the cards will fit in the sleeves or not. So it seems to be a bit of a minor nitpick, and also those of you who prefer to have a bit more space between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card may not like these sleeves because they don't offer quite the same amount of protection as a sleeve that has a larger opening would. As you can see, the tops of the cards are all visible through the openings of the sleeves, and so you can see that there's not much of a seal created by those sleeves. The other qualm that some of you might have are that these sleeves are indeed matte sleeves, and so you will lose a little bit of luster from the art or the colors of the card as you put them in the sleeve. So these are sleeves particularly for those who are okay with that and who would prefer that you get the benefit of the ability for these sleeves to reduce the amount of glare that you would have when you are playing with them. I think that makes these medium non-glare sleeves from Arcane Tinmen one of my favorite sleeves in terms of overall quality for cards of this size, and so I'm very impressed with it. This is a higher price, but the sleeves match the price in terms of their expected quality, and so those of you who are okay with matte sleeves will want to check these sleeves out. If you're looking for a quality product, they are not cheap, they are not budget, they are not value. But if you are looking for great quality sleeves that I think will be good for you in terms of handling as well as durable and long lasting, these are one of your best choices. If this video is helpful to you, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more such videos, hit subscribe. I have surveys in the description box below if you have experience with these sleeves or other sleeves of both American and European size. Go ahead and click on those links and share your experience, and that will be posted at the In It Games' resource page. Thanks for watching this video. This was Refresh, and I will see you next time.